When we think of the real power of decentralized technology for benefiting how we do things, the global supply chain is something that touches most small to medium businesses. And it's an area of opportunity worth exploring, so let's dive in. Supply chains have faced unprecedented challenges over the past few years. The pandemic caused lockdowns, slowdowns, and significantly higher regulatory hurdles, all of which dramatically reduced the supply of many types of goods, and naturally prices rose to reflect this. But even before the pandemic, there were plenty of parts of the global supply chain which could be described as less than ideal. And while not all of those areas can be improved with technology, the slow paper-based processes that dominate many links in the chain currently are ripe for rethinking. Some of that rethinking is already underway. For example, some shipping containers with goods already have sensors on them that are connected to the internet. This allows for more accurate tracking of shipments as they move around the globe, and opens the opportunity for further innovation when we bring in blockchain technology. What if, when it arrived at its destination, the money paid in escrow for anything and everything in that container could be automatically released, even if it's linked to hundreds or thousands of different recipients? What if these payment transactions were fully encoded into a contract, so it happened as soon as things arrive? I mean literally, the moment the sensors confirm the goods have arrived in time and in the state expected, all of these actions are triggered automatically and instantly. This is the idea behind a smart contract. In a nutshell, smart contracts are lines of code that automate contractual provisions when certain conditions are met. This code, and all the transactions relating to it, are written to a distributed ledger, a blockchain, which brings with it a bunch of other benefits as well. But we'll talk about those later. Let's go back to the benefits of smart contracts. Firstly, automation. Smart contracts enable workflows to be automated, which further increases speed and efficiency, and these can be tailored to suit the unique needs of vendors and customers to drive higher profits and repeat trade. Then the overall transaction can be a lot cheaper because you're removing the costs of trust agents and process inefficiencies. It's faster because you can also remove the time delays caused by these things as well, like paperwork, reconciliation, and human errors. Also, how easy is it for a human to forget to sign or lose something versus when it's automated and built into a well-designed process? This also has the double benefit of flagging faster when something hasn't been executed as contractually arranged. Finally, it's transparent, with blockchains providing a visible audit trail that offers a single source of truth for all participants. So many of the transactions business owners undertake every day lie in the hands of third-party entities, not just the obvious things like shipping, but also down to the working conditions experienced during manufacturing or where the materials were sourced. There's no simple or transparent way to know where your things come from or how they're made currently. But when the provenance of the goods you're buying is visible on the blockchain and managed and validated through smart contracts, you can trace every individual part back to its origin. In order to change or remove a record from a blockchain, a hacker would have to do so for the entire chain on the ledger, and that's practically impossible. Contracts have a place in almost every aspect of life, so the use of smart contracts within supply chains is really just one practical example of how blockchain tech can improve business as we know it. There are many others associated with blockchain tech. Sending and receiving money, especially internationally, could be done without need for manual verification by third parties and exchanges, which reduces costs. Legal obligations could be mapped out into an automated process, which speeds things up and again reduces costs. I focus on this because, like many businesses will know at a time like this, improving cost management is a very critical upside. Copyrighted works, like those for musicians or artists, or even those who package up their IP into educational material, could be preserved and allow for them to be paid fairly whenever their material was reused. Accountants could employ smart contracts for real-time auditing and risk assessments. If one party defaulted on their obligation, there would be no need to bring in lawyers or wait for escrow to be over. Penalties would be managed by the contract itself. In terms of where we're up to on smart contract development broadly, again, it's an area that shows slow going but emergent productivity. There have been a number of implementations in global shipping, logistics, and manufacturing already. And on a smaller scale, some lawyers are already using them with standardized smart contract templates, and beta programs exist that are focusing on developing them in other industries like aviation and banking. If a chain is only as strong as its weakest link, cumbersome manual paper-based processes are definitely the weak link in the global supply chain. Smart contracts and blockchain tech can help remove this link and replace it with something that is stronger, faster, more efficient, and transparent. That sounds like pretty good innovation to me.